What's going on? Welcome back to the channel. So today I want to talk to you about SoundHound. We got another interesting day. I want to break it down on what's moving it, what shorts are doing, and everything else you need to know. But first, make sure to hit that thumbs up, and with that, let's get right to it. So SoundHound is down 3.88%, 776 the low, 825 is the high. And so it is starting to recover as we speak. So another typical day where first half is just a lot of selling, a lot of fear, and then more realistic, level-headed individuals come into play in the second half, causing it to go higher. That's been kind of the case for the last little bit, but the market is very concerned over tariffs. And so the fear and greed index is under the extreme fear category, 22, so people's appetite for risk isn't necessarily on the table. Today, also on a side note, is the end of Q1, so you should see some abnormal kind of transactions occur after hours. There was some in SoundHound's case on Friday after hours, but so far these are all the transactions occurring on the secondary market above $100,000. So surprisingly enough, you do see majority of this as buys, with exception of three: 624,000, 400,000, and then 342. So it goes to show that big money is actually buying the SoundHound dip. And I know some of you might be wondering and just saying, well, that doesn't make sense. How are they down so much if big money is buying? And this is why I've stated time and time again, algorithmic trading, it is the most powerful force out there. And if it is piggybacking off of the negativity in the market, doesn't matter how many institutions buy, you're going to have algorithmic trading just doing a lot of micro transactions, just pounding at all the bids, so ultimately going down. So that's kind of the basis why I go over where the volume comes from on a daily basis and whatever else. But it doesn't also help the fact that shorts always increase almost every day. So 681,000 shares are being increased, works out to be 32.86% of the free float though. 117.91 million shares overall are being shorted. So shorts are piggybacking off of the negativity, but I feel like with everything happening, there is going to be a little bit of a recovery because everything so far associated to the tariffs are just analysts speculating on what could potentially happen. So a lot of the data points that have been coming out is all from previous data. So we don't have anything. And actually, to be fully fair, a lot of the tariffs that people are concerned over have not even been fully enforced. So we are just kind of this whole market kind of scenario is just rather comical if you think about it. But coming from SoundHound, there hasn't been anything. So they've actually gone radio silent on March the 25th. No replies, nothing like that. So that is rather odd. If we kind of look back, they posted almost at least every day. Sometimes they took one day off for the most part, but yeah, this is rather odd. So I don't know if they're working on something behind the scenes or if they're just being more self-aware of just the crap that's happening in the broader market. And sometimes it might be better just to stay silent. Again, it's kind of hard to speculate on what they are thinking, but there hasn't been any official news, no SEC filings as of late. So I'll give you a quick overview of that. So last ones were Form 24s on March the 24th. Aside from that though, looking at the options, 1.66 million in calls, 1.74 in puts, 48% of all the options being done today are optimistic in nature. And you can kind of see the volume today will probably be close to what happened on Friday. So this also today would be the 5th consecutive day for SoundHound to be red. So it's definitely not going on that good of a trend. And so SoundHound always goes through these 5-day red days and then results in more of a reversal. So again, history doesn't always repeat itself, but if we kind of look back, does result in a little bit more of a push higher. Based on the call options that are being done so far today, there's a consensus for it to be roughly around $10 to $9.50 for this week, and oddly enough for the week ending April 17th 2025 for it to be above 12. Why? I'm not really sure. Maybe associated to their earnings or something else. Let me know your viewpoint on why that would be like that. Flip side, looking at the bears, you see a consensus for it to be roughly a sub 650 to 7. So as I've stated, I think the technicals leading into this week were rather negative, but kind of the reasons why a lot of that is negative, like I said, could be just seen as unjust. So it'll be a lot of volatility regardless in the foreseeable future. But as far as today, with it right now at $8.20, trading between this S1 and this S2, so $6.96 will be a strong support. Flip side, 887 is that next strong target slash resistance. I don't see that being touched today, but potentially with some good momentum and jolt numbers coming out tomorrow, you could see that S1 being touched. As far as right now, it'd be very interesting to see as far as the quarter over quarter changes for institutions. So like I said, today is the last day in Q1, so we'll start to get to some new 13Fs coming in. So based on Q3 going into Q4, institutions did increase 50.25% quarter over quarter, and then strategic entities 41.63%. So pretty good stuff as far as that. There hasn't really been all that much in changes for the analyst forecast, but as they do come in, I'll give you guys overviews of that, of a lot of the key metrics, such as earnings per share or revenue. But given just where it's at, I think SoundHound is overdue for a pullback. So as of right now, it is below that 200-day moving average, so $8.62. That's going to be another key point to really watch to get over in the short term. Aside from that, 904 is that ALMA. And if it's able to successfully get above that, then you could see a very nice push higher. So 1173 and 1242 is that 100 and also 50-day moving average. So all in all, I think it's just crappy conditions for our market, a lot of which is just speculation. So if you do believe in SoundHound and what they're doing, take advantage, buy the dip, do what you need to do. Aside from a lot of the articles associated to lawsuits and whatever, you see some articles coming out saying that, hey, SoundHound's actually a good, credible company. You should take advantage and buy the dip. Like I said, just a lot of suing and lawsuit type of ambulance chasers, but there is a lot of good bullish individuals out there associated to SoundHound. So if you're one of them, give yourself a shout out in the comments below. Don't forget to hit that thumbs up and give yourself a shout out. Have you been buying? Did you finally have enough? Did you sell? What's your kind of 2 cents on all of that? And then one final thing, if you are looking for some kick-ass buy signals, pop over to my Patreon where I give buy signals on stocks, options, and crypto. Many of them have been absolutely on point and bangers. Definitely worthwhile to pop over there and take a look. With all that, appreciate all of you watching.